Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Hi there and welcome. This season, we're exploring the theme, Don't Let the Start Stop You. It's a powerful reminder that while beginnings can be daunting, they're also a gateway to growth, success, and happiness. That's why today I've asked Mary Howard to return to the show for a conversation. Mary is a registered nurse and small business owner of an online supplement store named Powerline Health. She likes to blog and vlog under the name Nurse Mary. She loves to research the latest trends in health and wellness and the use of natural solutions anytime she can. Mary has about 6,000 email followers, over 140 YouTube videos, and she still feels like she's just getting started sometimes because she feels there's so much to learn about healthy lifestyle and reversing aging with healthy living. And by the way, she loves to stay active by playing pickleball. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Obviously, you're a health and wellness expert, and I love that. And you research all these different aspects for the health and wellness field in our lives. But why pickleball? What got you started?
So it's kind of funny. My sister got us into it. And the very first time she took us to play pickleball, we went to this public park and we were playing on tennis nets. You know, it was really new. It was a couple of years ago, and you just didn't hear near as much of it. And it was so windy. We laughed way more than we learned because it was so windy. The pickleball courts there in Springfield, they have netting around the court. So even if it's windy, you can still play a pretty good game. Pickleball is really good for hand-eye coordination, so it's really good for your brain. Of course, it's a pretty good physical workout if you really move and play a fast game. I mean, you can play a slow game too, and we do play a slow game often. We like to teach newbies how to play, and so, you know, you warm them up to it and teach them the basics. It's been really fun.
Why do you think it's so popular?
It's contagious. I don't know. Like, you know, if you want to, for example, if you want to play tennis, you really have to be an athlete. You really have to, you have to be able to do quite a bit of running. You have to be able to do quite a bit of jumping. It takes a lot of arm and shoulder. You know, everybody used to get the tennis elbow. But when you play pickleball, it's kind of a mix of, it's like ping pong on your feet. And so you can play a fast game, you can play a slow game. I've watched people play that have Parkinson's. I've watched people play that have knee braces, bilateral knee surgeries in their back, playing pickleball in 60 days. And again, some of those people, though, if they are really good at handling a ball, they know how to get it where they want it to go. They don't have to move as much as somebody like me who feel like I'm just chasing the ball sometimes. So there's just a lot of technique to learn, and you just, every time you play, you're up in your game, you know, you're learning something new, you're staying limber. And
in your line of work, researching healthy lifestyle and using natural ways to help ailments that we may have, what do folks that you work with, what do they struggle with the most?
Kind of from a personal experience, another thing that exercise does, it helps your body digest things better. And the cool thing about something like pickleball, where you're actually having fun, I would never go to the gym and work out 30 minutes because as soon as I started sweating, I was uncomfortable, and that just didn't interest me. But when you're playing pickleball, it's like your focus is on something completely different. It's that competitiveness, it's that camaraderie, it's all those other things. And I just feel like it's really kind of the way we're made. It's a social activity. I probably didn't answer your question, did I?
No, you did. I think that if folks are having an overall maybe health issue, figuring out not only diet, but also what can you do to move and help your body to help what you're ingesting do a better job.
A lot of things are like that are good for the brain. And so that's also part of the anti-aging of our cells. And we do really need to move more. And I guess you don't really realize it until you make those life habit changes. And then you look back and you're like, oh, wow, I couldn't have hiked 3 miles in Colorado 6 months ago, a year ago, that kind of thing.
If you don't mind sharing and keeping up with our theme, Don't Let the Start Stop You, do you mind sharing maybe a moment that you faced that you had a challenge, and what was that turning point and how you overcame that challenge?
I did. I had a big challenge, and my business seemed like we were just moving right along. But one of my goals was I love helping my customers, and I spend a lot of time, writing emails and blogs and answering their questions. But the other thing that I've been really passionate about, I'm a nurse, and I took care of doctors as a nurse or practitioners. And so I have been looking for that opportunity to come along other practitioners. I had started to work with a couple of other practitioners, and then one of my practitioner left me, the one I'd worked with for many years. But in the meantime, I ended up with 3 new practitioners, and it has been amazing. I've been able to help them. I've been able to help their clients, but there was a lot of hurdles. And when I lost that main practitioner, it was around the same time my mom passed away. And I was just like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe I'm just not. And then I went to work after all of that funeral stuff, and I had questions from my customers. And I'm like, I got to take care of my customers. It's not about me. It's about them. And it's not about even just my business. It's about coming up with systems to help them and to be more efficient so that we can help more patients. If I've got more practitioners, we want to be able to help more clients and help the practitioner as well so that they feel like their clients are given 100% satisfaction. I did have hurdles integrating new web software. I came from a little bit of a website design background for some time. And so that has been challenging, but it's actually been fun working with the software companies on new things, new systems, new workarounds, and them helping patch things up so they work better.
That sounds great. Now, I do know that you have that tech background, which is really cool and can be an advantage. But sometimes, isn't it when we're pushing through in an area that we have some expertise in, isn't it sometimes hard to give ourselves some grace? We know what it should look like when it's all done, but it doesn't seem to get there fast enough. Do you have advice with your clients or the folks that you serve? They must have goals when it relates to their health and wellness, and they can't get there fast enough. What kind of coping mechanisms or ways to help move that along?
Well, I do a lot of thanking my customers for their patience. I found I do apologize at times, but rather than focusing on apologizing, thanking them for their patience, and then we're still in the game together. I'm still working on whatever I can to solve the problem, to help them get what they need. Even in the last couple of years, we've had a lot of supply chain issues that slow getting their products to them. And, even the U.S. mail being overwhelmed at times, we just keep doing the best we can for our customers and try not to lose too much sleep over it, but at the same time, give excellence every opportunity you can so that when things aren't exactly as excellent as you'd like them to be, you're doing the best you can.
Do you have any advice on making a good, practical health and wellness goal?
The journey to better health, it really is that. It's a journey. And so just picking one area of your life and trying to do it with excellence. So like pick one meal, say breakfast, and make that meal just as healthy as you can. And then after you kind of got that down and you got some systems in place, maybe packing really healthy lunches for work or whatever. Just gradually make those changes. Don't expect it to all happen at once, and don't expect every day to be perfect, but just try to make that your norm, Instead of thinking about the things you can have, think about the healthy things you can put in your path that you absolutely love anyways, and then just kind of build around the list of things you really do enjoy. And it's that way for activity too, I think maybe it's my imagination, but I think I see more people out walking their pet than ever. I love that. They're getting outside, they're doing something. They're not just sticking them in the backyard and sitting in the house. They're getting out and they're making that a really important part of life. It's not just for their health, it's also for someone else, their pet's health, And so when you get where you don't just focus on yourself as much, but you realize how your health is then also going to make it. Well, there's an old saying, you can't help others until you help yourself. So if you help yourself, you're better able to help your family, and it just all trickles down. When you can feed your body correctly, you'll have better health in a lot of areas. And, often you can go to the doctor and get a diagnosis, but that still didn't fix anything. What you want to ultimately do is feel better, right? So what little incremental things can you do to change that where you feel better?
I love that you said little incremental things, because it doesn't happen overnight. We didn't get to a certain state overnight. So how can we expect to get to a better state overnight? It's not a snap, although we'd like it to. Now, you have an online store. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and why did you get into natural healing?
Yeah, the practitioners I work with use a biomeridian scanner. And so those help figure out where the body is out of balance. And again, it kind of comes back to that kind of like wanting to feel better. If your body is out of balance in one area, or it's really weak in one area, it might put stress on another area. So like if your pancreas is stressed, it also is going to stress your liver. Those are very connected. If your gallbladder is slow and sluggish, it's going to, have all these different downstream effects. If your lymphatic glands have lumps and bumps and they're sore, you may end up with joints around those lymphatic glands that get achy. And it's because it's affecting the flow of whether circulation or lymphatic fluids. Those are all things that the body has built in to cleanse and detoxify your body. And when those get sluggish, then it's going to have that downstream effect on a lot of things. They'll pick out a couple of areas and work on those and have them come back. And if that seems like they're making progress, they'll scan them again and see if there's still other areas that are high risk, or if the body kind of cleaned up its act in a lot of areas once you got, say, the liver or the bladder or something like that fixed, kind of leveled out. Thyroid, adrenal, people that have sleep issues, anxiety issues, those adrenals and thyroids so that's another thing that's really handy to use the biomeridian scan for, just to help figure out your energy levels.
Is there a most popular supplement that we seem to always be deficient in?
It does mostly depend on the person, because we really are all created so different. But what we're seeing is that almost more important than vitamins are minerals.
Really?
And you have to get your minerals in very absorbable format. So like magnesium and calcium, those kind of balance each other. And then you want a little bit of potassium and a little bit of sodium, So, switching from table salt to sea salt is one of the simplest things you can do because they have several hundred what they call trace minerals in the sea salt. And so trace minerals help with all those other little things that aren't a macro. So like boron and I don't know, I can't even think of the names of them at this moment, but there's a lot of micronutrients in our minerals. And our soils are becoming more and more depleted. So that's one of the ways, taking in minerals is one of the ways we can supplement our diet. Magnesium is a really popular supplement because it helps move the digestive system along. It helps with concentration. It can help with certain types of headaches too. It helps with muscle cramps. So it's a big need in our diet that it's hard to meet. So supplementing with magnesium is really, really helpful.
You have your own YouTube channel and people can follow you and look you up under Nurse Mary. Can you tell us, why did you start your YouTube channel and what kind of things do you cover?
I followed you a long time, and for a while we talked about, you have your company name, but you really should be an attractive character too. But I didn't really want to lose Powerline Health, so I just decided to be Ask Nurse Mary as a piece of the Powerline Health. I do have a little chat bubble on my website, so you may have seen that.
I love that, yeah.
And once somebody chats into that and gives me their contact info, I can reply and it comes right to their text messaging. Whether I should or not, but me and my staff do spend a lot of time just answering people's questions because that was where we found the need was. And so then in my emails, people ask me questions by email, and I always ask them for their questions. And I started realizing I have hundreds of Q&As that I've just collected. And so that was what I wanted to do with my YouTube, was to just share those Q&As. And then the other thing is, we do like to talk about our products, but I was always worried about selling. And I finally had somebody tell me, Mary, just tell us what to do with this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. So.
Right? That's what we want, because you're the expert and and you are very prolific on YouTube. So keep it up. I love it. I'm so glad that you came back to the show today, Mary, for sharing your experiences, because when we hear others' experiences and their journeys, it helps us to stay motivated to make that next best step. So, Mary, how do people stay in contact with you?
Yeah, the little chat box on the website is nice, because if it's just how to find something on the website, my staff can help. And then anything else, I'll jump on and answer their questions, and track packages, whatever it is that people need, we're there for them.
Awesome. Well, I'll have all your links, your website link, your social media links, including your YouTube channel, down in the show notes. And I encourage everyone to connect with Mary. Thanks so much, Mary.
I appreciate your time.